Section 336, Matt, Josh, and Bert are at the games hidden behind home plate. Let's go O's! Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation Baltimore Sports Talk. I'm your endearingly stuttering host, Matt Soroka. As always, I'm joined by the zany Bert Rohde.
Happy Father's Day, Coconuts.
That's enough. And button lover Josh Soroka.
Hey, guys. How's it going? You guys enjoyed the heat today? It was a hot day out in Bowie.
Yeah, it was rocking in the mid-80s. Look out.
Yeah.
I know. I say that.
Wear your sunscreen.
I say that as I'm moving to Florida.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, Josh, if you and your girls can't handle mid-80s, what are you doing going to Florida? Oh,
no, I was good with the heat. I almost said something to my girls about, hey, we're moving to Florida. But
yeah,
I
you
did
better
not.
get used to this. Yeah.
I let
That,
them.
that would be that's a cool day in Florida.
Right.
Yeah. But we were out there at Bowie Baysox Stadium celebrating Father's Day at the Bay. So shout out to all the fathers out there listening to the show. Happy Father's Day to all of you.
Absolutely.
And even to the non-fathers.
Yeah.
No, not Happy Father's Day to you. Like, get a son or something. Get a kid. What are you waiting for?
And good to see a few 336ers out there.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Some hardcore coconuts. That was fun to hang out with them. Absolutely. But let's start at the beginning. We went to Bert had the privilege of throwing out the ceremonial first pitch.
Well, that's not even the beginning.
Well,
No.
Well, I was going to say, but he had the chance prior to that to get his arm warmed up and stretch out his arm with a little on-the-field toss father-son action.
Father-son have a catch, as they say, on the field down at Prince George's Stadium, Bowie Baysox. They opened up the ballpark early, so we got there around 12:15, went down to the field with our gloves, and me and my boy played a little bit of catch out in center field. Started drizzle a little bit, but we had a good time out there. And yeah, I was able to warm up my arm in preparation for the ceremonial first pitch.
Yeah, I got there around 12:40, and I saw the outfield was just packed with people. I was just thinking how there's some I don't know who the what do you call it, the crew manager, the grounds crew. I don't know, the head grounds crew keeper. I bet he or she was kind of losing their mind seeing all those people running around the field, because it was a pretty good crowd at Bowie today.
It was a bigger crowd than I was expecting, and it was quite crowded out in the outfield for that game of catch. You had to be careful out there, because there wasn't really much organization to it. Like, people were playing catch vertically, horizontally, parallel to each other, perpendicular to each other. So it was like a maze of trying not to walk in the path of balls being thrown. And
and I would imagine not the most skilled throwers at all times as well.
No, it was a lot of kids, which I think was probably the intention.
Yeah,
but a couple of dads our age with their dads who are, trying to throw it as hard as they can, hoping there's some Oriole scouts there watching them or something.
Oh, we've all seen that.
Yeah, you had to be careful for the tryouts, the guys out there trying out for the team. I was just fortunate to give a little underhand toss to my 5-year-old and have him catch it and throw it back without too much trouble. But yeah, it was a little dangerous, and there were quite a few. It wasn't all dads and sons. There were daughters out there. There was a lot of softballs being thrown.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a good time.
Any wiffle balls?
I didn't see any wiffle balls. A couple of rubber balls. Bright yellow softballs. A couple girls throwing real hard.
Was it BYOB? Did you have to bring your own ball?
Yes, it was. Yeah, BYO ball.
Was it
yes.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. They
took a ball?
might have. You guys know, we're all well aware of how expensive baseballs are for minor
That's
leaguers
true.
these days.
$8 a pop.
Yeah, so I don't think they had, there was no big giant bucket of baseballs they were just giving out to people. In order to get a free baseball, you had to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. Segue.
And you got that free baseball, Bert.
So typical
yeah,
Bert.
and it wasn't just
he maneuvered it to not be just Bert, but to make it a twofer.
Yeah. Well, I thought my son is there. I was like, I thought I'd bring him down there and just say, hey, it's Father's Day. Can my son come on the field with me? No big deal. And if they said no, it's no big deal. That's fine.
Never hurts to ask.
No. But so I went down there with him, and the girl, doing the check-in at the dugout, I said, this is where we're supposed to come to throw out the first pitch. She's like, yeah, is this him? Is the little guy going to throw out the first pitch? And I didn't want to be like, no, it's supposed to be me. I was just like, oh, no, sure, he can do it. That's fine. I don't care. But then so I was comfortable saying, okay, well, let Albie do it. I don't need to do it. That's fine. It'll be cute. But then she did come back up later and she said, well, if he's Albie, who is Bert? Because Bert's supposed to be throwing it out. And I said, well, that's me. And so she said, well, I'll just let you both do it. And I got the impression if you know where to stand at the right time when they're doing the check-in, they'll pretty much let anybody throw out the first pitch as long as you say you want to do it. And I kind of said that to her. I was like, so I could have just been anybody standing over here and you would have let us down there. She's like, yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Well, there was a couple
challenge
ceremony
accepted.
first pitch throwers, right? It wasn't just you. There was a couple more.
There was two other guys. One was an older guy. I think he was there with a representative of a group sale or something. And then another guy who was, I think, a member of the grounds crew and has been for several years. And today was his last game.
He was referred
as
to
member
as
of the grounds crew.
He was referred to as the Beard.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know where
had quite the beard.
You know where the beard is moving to?
No.
Daytona.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he's going.
He's following you.
Me. We're going down together.
But she said when we checked in, we're going to throw out the first pitch. She's going to let my son do it. She's going to let me do it. She said, we got plenty of baseballs, so you both can do it. I said, great. And they come down and they bring us these orange and white brand new baseballs that are printed on their Baysox ceremonial first pitch.
That's like a $9 ball there.
Yeah, it's a nice baseball. We each got one.
Why not?
So I thought that'd be cool enough. We get a free baseball. That's awesome. Nice
And
little
then there's
memento.
some scraggly high schooler with a weird mustache catching for you.
Yeah, I didn't even recognize. They're like, okay, well, you'll throw to a player, and it's just this guy. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know. I don't have the whole Baysox roster memorized.
When you saw him, did you recognize him or no?
No.
Okay.
Because it looked different from the last time I remembered seeing said ball player Hunter Harvey. The last time I remember seeing, if you asked me to draw a picture or describe what Hunter Harvey looks like, I would have described like a 17 to 19-year-old kid with short hair and like a thin mustache.
Yeah.
But he's got long hair now. His little thin mustache has grown into more of a goatee beard situation.
A little bit, yeah.
So he looked a little mature, a little more grown up, and that was the cool part. It just kept getting a little
that was the cool
cooler
part.
by the minute. It was cool because they could have just picked any scrub off of the Baysox roster. They got Hunter Harvey out there. We get to throw out the first pitch to Hunter Harvey. So I thought that was cool.
Did that motivate you maybe, to put a little bit more heat on your fastball? Try to impress
No.
Hunter Harvey?
Nah.
The night before?
No, I wasn't one of the guys trying out or anything. My whole mentality going into the ceremonial first pitch, because I've seen a lot of people stress about it and heard nightmare stories about overthrowing or hitting somebody or underthrowing.
You don't want to make Twitter, with this, yeah.
No, so
I was videotaping the whole thing, so it would have made Twitter if it was something good.
My mentality was just not to think about it at all. I didn't even let it sit around in my head leading up to it. And they hand me the ball, and I'm not trying to overpower it. I basically just lobbed it in the air. It was probably a bit low and inside if a batter was standing there. But I did not embarrass myself. I can say that confidently.
And I think that's where you ended up. It ended up being good for you that it was just you and not all three of us. Because if it was all three of us, we'd all be trying to outdo each other.
It would have got a bit competitive, I'm sure.
Yeah, yours was a bit. It wasn't embarrassing, but it was a bit of a lollipop, if I can say that, Bert. You're a little,
Sure.
It wasn't coming in there on a line drive.
No, and that's okay. Like I said, it could have been a lot worse.
I think they should start putting a batter up there for the first pitch, and he gets to either embarrass you by crushing the ball, or you get an extra cheer if you strike him.
Well, and they gave me the choice real quick, like on the moment, but they're like, do you want to go next? And so I took the opportunity. I thought it was smarter to go before my son, my 5-year-old son, because he was dressed in his full Orioles uniform, baseball pants, and tall socks.
Cheesing it up, yeah.
He was. So I was like, I can't go after this cute, adorable little kid. I got to go first and then let him have the spotlight after me.
And he did have the bigger applause. How does it make you feel? Your son.
He did. He got. Applause. I heard some hooting and hollering for Albie Rhodey. But they moved him up a little closer, and he had a nice toss to Hunter Harvey as well. So he didn't embarrass me either.
No, I got Camden in my ear. Why does Albie get to do that?
Yeah, you both turned it down until I was the one that said, I'll do it. I'll do it. I believe was my exact quote.
Someone told me, hey, do you want to go throw the ball to Hunter Harvey?
I saw a cool video on Twitter. I was hoping your son would do this, where I don't know if you guys saw this kind of cute, where the kid refused to pitch from anywhere but the mound, and they kept on trying to get him to throw it. He said, no, I'm not going to throw it unless I stand on the mound. And he threw it from the mound.
Did he make it all the way in?
No, he made it like 2 feet.
Right, it doesn't matter. It's the point.
I think they moved Albie in a bit, and I think he got it in on a bounce, but he still looked good doing it.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it all, we get to keep our ceremonial first pitch baseballs and Hunter Harvey autographed, both of them. So Hunter Harvey is now my new favorite Oriole.
Good deal.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. Took opportunity and worked out good. So and they put the microphone in front of my face for a second because the PA announcer was down there and said, Section 336, what's that? What's the big deal with Section 336? I said, what was it? The best seats in the house in Camden Yards.
I noticed no mention of the podcast. No mention of subscribe.
Yeah.
No mention of reviews.
I could have advertised, I suppose.
No mention of 5 stars.
Right. No mention of, I'll be talking about this tonight.
No mention of Baltimore Sports Magazine called us the Baltimore's best sports podcast.
Twice.
No mention of that. That's all right.
It's
but
probably better.
You're right, Bert. It is a section at Camden Yards.
Yeah, you're
right.
Wrong.
You're not wrong.
It's probably better that they didn't give me the opportunity to keep talking because then it would have turned into like one of those Adam Jones questions again.
Yeah, I would have loved
while I'm here, I have a question for Hunter Harvey.
Right.
Yeah.
Pull the mic away. You run.
Hey, Hunter. Big fan.
I always feel compelled not to ask a question ramble on, but whenever I'm confronted with a player in any situation, I'm always compelled to give them some advice on their career to help further their career.
It's usually been good advice too.
It really has. Did you feel compelled at all to give Hunter Harvey some advice? Like maybe how you don't break your arm or something, like stop getting hurt?
Oh, hold on. At what point did you figure out it was Hunter Harvey?
When they told me you'll be thrown to Hunter Harvey.
All right. They used his name. Gotcha.
Yeah, they told me just before they brought us out there. And he was like the only player lingering around there, so I assumed that was going to be the guy. And then when they said his name, I was like, okay. Yeah, he's kind of a big deal. At least as far as the Baysox roster goes.
Yeah, I would say he's. Yeah, I don't know who the biggest. Maybe Yusniel Diaz is the biggest star, but yeah, he's probably number 2.
I would argue that this was a better opportunity than throwing out the first pitch at an Orioles game at Camden Yards because who are you going to throw to? Like Paul Fry? Like, get out of here. I got Hunter Harvey. Who cares?
And in front of about the same number of people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I feel like now we need to expand this to get Bert in front of every minor league ballpark and throw out the first pitch.
Yeah.
So Keys,
Shorebirds. I wonder if all the other teams do a ceremonial first pitch ball because that could be a nice little collection to acquire.
Right. I think so. I mean,
you just go up and stand right beside there when it's time and just walk on.
Right. I think it was someone from Stranger Things on Saturday night. Today it's Bert. As far as they know, they both got the same ball.
Yeah. And I think it probably wouldn't hurt to bring a 5-year-old dressed in a full Orioles uniform.
It does not hurt.
That probably doesn't hurt my chances.
Let's just work on the answer to the question, what is 336? Let's just work on that.
Okay. I'll have it written in my palm next time. Baltimore's best
I'm glad you asked. Yeah, give me a couple
talk?
No one's ever asked me.
That's probably why it caught me off guard, because no one has ever asked me that before.
Why
do you want to know? What? It's none of your business. What are you asking me this
What?
for?
I got asked on Matt, when were we? Friday night going home from the Oriole game. A guy at Rite Aid or Walgreens asked me, "What is Section 336?" And I told him it's a Baltimore sports podcast. Did not tell him it was mine. Just told him it was a Baltimore sports podcast, Baltimore Orioles podcast. And he said, "Oh, is Rock Kubaco on that one?"
Yes, every
Right.
Monday
He said,
night.
no, hold up. Let me tell you a minute how I feel about Rock Kubaco. That's what I was said. And I would have given him a piece of my mind for about 10 minutes.
Well, were you wearing a 336 shirt at the Rite Aid or something?
I was. And ran into a weird guy.
You see, I have to answer all the time because every time at some point in the school year, people discover that I have a podcast. And then all these kind of non-baseball high schoolers want to know what 336 is about.
Yeah.
So I have to give my spiel like all the time. So I'm more, and I don't say it's a section in Camden Yards.
Right. It's my favorite seats. It's where my seats are.
Yeah. But so Bert, you acquitted yourself well there. I didn't see any scouts like with the radar gun out. You know, I didn't see any talk above that. Maybe for Albie, that's how they do it nowadays. You know, with the kids.
Younger.
Yeah, if Albie was in like the DR or something, he already would have a contract. Maybe that's how they do it.
They videotaped him throwing just to get an idea of what kind of motion he has right now at 5. And then they'll check back in another 10 years when he's 15 and see if he's improved to the level he should.
Yeah. I was focusing on his spin rate as he threw that ceremony first pitch. What's his spin rate? Is that going to miss some bats?
He needs to.
He's got a heck of a changeup for a 5-year-old.
Yeah,
Right. He's just got to work on
He
that.
doesn't have a fastball.
Right. And the release point. Got to work on that release point.
But they always say you should not start teaching curveballs at age 5. Like their hands and wrists are still developing, so it's too early for curveballs and sliders.
Or the way you do it now is you do curveballs. He throws left-handed.
Right.
So that way you don't mess up the right hand.
And then maybe he could turn into like one of those ambidextrous pitchers like they had in
yes.
Oakland.
The
Exactly.
amphibious pitcher from Oakland, absolutely.
Right. That's what
Devin
you work
Durr
on.
or something like that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, the game itself, we got a chance to watch Dean Kramer,
Yeah.
who is an exciting young arm, a guy we got back from the Dodgers for the part of the Manny Machado deal, which is looking like a good deal. I mean, time will tell, but it's looking like a pretty good deal. And he pitched really effectively. I mean, I know he gave up. I think the stat line was 4 runs over 6 innings, and he got the loss. But through 5 innings, he pitched really effectively. All the runs came on 2 dongs. The one dong was just like barely got over like the 306 wall right in the corner of right field. So that was I don't even think that really should even count.
Right.
Like
306
count
is a little
half
short.
run. This is really short over there. But he was really effective. I was really impressed. He had 9 strikeouts. Had a good, fastball 92 miles per hour, sitting around 92, but good secondary pitches. Missed some bats is what you want to see. So Dean Kramer looked. It was fun to see him because he's an actual, I think, legitimate pitching prospect for the Orioles.
Yes.
And someone a little bit closer than you always hear about DL Hall, Grayson Rodriguez, Cody Sedlock. This one, Dean Kramer's a little bit closer. So it's good to see him pitch. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's a this year guy, but certainly a next year, a 2020 guy, Dean Kramer. Maybe this year. I think you're making the argument that he could be caught up this year. But after seeing the Orioles call up Luis Ortiz, it sounds like they're not calling any prospects at this point.
Yeah, Kramer would have done a whole lot better than Luis Ortiz did on Friday.
Yes.
Calling up Luis Ortiz on Friday night, besides it being embarrassing for us Oriole fans, I think it sent the signal across Birdland that if it's a guy you heard of, he's not getting caught up this year.
Yeah. There's been a lot of talk about how Orioles prospects have to prove themselves before they get to the majors. Like Chance Sisco has to hit well over an extended period of time, and other players need to hit well over an extended period of time. But it's not true for players who aren't legit prospects. Like, we will call you up, and your ERA is over 8, and we will legitimately call you up just because to us you are an arm, and we don't care about you. We just need someone to start this game right now. Because the prospects, like Keegan Aiken's having a much better year in AAA than Luis Ortiz. But Luis Ortiz got the start because they don't think very highly of Luis Ortiz. And they think highly of Keegan Aiken, so they want Keegan Aiken to get those innings and not to get shellacked when he gets to the majors. You're telling me they called up Luis Ortiz and they didn't know he was going to get shellacked when he had an ERA over 7 at AAA? When they called him up, they knew this guy's going to get crushed. And so they called him up, whatever confidence we don't care about, you're going to get crushed. We called you up anyway. He pitched that game and was demoted back to AAA the next day. And it just shows how they feel about Luis Ortiz.
Do you think he goes up, starts that game on Friday feeling like he's going to be shellacked, or is this an opportunity with a chip on his shoulder to prove him wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a chance for all these young pitchers, right? But they get a shot at the majors, whether it's Josh Rogers, who actually pitched pretty well, or anyone else. And I think this is what Brandon Hyde, Josh, I don't know if you touch on this, but manager Hyde, for the first time really all season, kind of went off on the team. And part of what he said was, this team, players are given opportunities that normally wouldn't be given opportunities. So you better be freaking on your game because this is an opportunity that you would never otherwise get. So take advantage of it. Like Luis Ortiz, this is an opportunity you have no business having. So take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's been nice to see Hyde fired up about that this week. He was fired up. I think it was Friday, Saturday. He was talking like that.
Or just after getting embarrassed by Boston.
Right. He got ejected today, right? 3 straight
games. Yeah, he got ejected, arguing over call.
So same thing. Just you can see his frustration that it's got to be tough, even when you go in a season knowing the team's going to be bad. To be embarrassed has to be frustrating for him.
Yeah, and part of that is like mental errors, right? I mean, you saw Jackie Bradley Jr. steal a base, and Dylan Bundy didn't even realize he ran. And you just saw other just like dumb stuff happening on the base pass and in the field. And I don't care if you have minor leaguers playing who shouldn't be playing the majors, is no excuse for making mental errors. Like strike out against Chris Sale, I get that because everybody strikes out against Chris Sale because he's good. But like let a runner steal second and don't even look at him, that can't happen.
Well, and it's simple.
That's throwing out all your basic baseball. That's stuff to get to that point, and you're basically just throwing it all out because of nerves or because you're just dumb.
It's just stupid errors. I think of this week, Manny Machado was on the Sabathia podcast, and everyone was talking about it online. And if you listen, he talked about J.J. Hardy, and what J.J. Hardy taught him is just consistency. And I feel like that's just like the basics. Like that makes stars like J.J. Hardy and Machado, part of what makes them good is their talent, but just consistency of catching the ball, throwing the ball. And I think that's stuff where we're seeing the Orioles just screw up this year on basic stuff.
I mean, just look at Machado. He consistently jogs out ground balls.
Right. Consistently gets into fights and arguments. Yes.
Yeah. It was a bit ironic because Manny Machado's the biggest criticism for Manny Machado on defense was his inconsistency as a defensive player. So it's kind of interesting he said that. But, like, it's a long season, right? And you're out there every single game, and you're playing in front of small crowds. And sometimes you may, not concentrate because you do this every single night in front of small crowds. But, like, Manager Hyde's point is, like, you're freaking in the major leagues. And there's a freaking opportunity that very few people have in this world. So don't, stay focused, even if you're doing it every night, even if you're doing it in front of a large crowd. Stay focused and get the job done because this is your job. And if you don't get it done, honestly, you're not going to be here for long. And a lot of these guys who are here this year are not going to be here next year. And certainly in 2 years, most of them will be gone. If
you make a dumb mental mistake in Bowie, maybe 3,000 people will see it or even hear about it. But,
in Baltimore,
even on a terrible Oriole team, you're in the majors. It's going to be on MLB Network. It's going to be on John Boy Media on YouTube. It's going to be everywhere.
Some 50-year-old man on Facebook is going to be ranting about it.
Yeah.
Josh
leave that stuff in the minors.
Josh is going to say something about how Chris Davis would not have made that mistake.
I haven't said anything about Chris Davis. I think Chris Davis has been okay this week. Yeah. I know he got a base on, or no, he got hit by a pitch the game we went to on Friday. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did anything else.
But going back to the Baysox game, we also saw. I mean, Yusniel Diaz is one of our top prospects. Again, a guy we got back from the Dodgers in that deal, and we saw him hit a double.
Drove in 2 runs on that double.
Yeah, and he does look. I mean, you can tell sometimes by looking at players. Like, I'm no scout, but using that Diaz just looks like bigger than everybody else. So there's like dead giveaway. Like that's a dead giveaway that he is. I don't know. That's you could just tell sometimes that people are different. Remember watching Dylan Bundy when he pitched coming up, and you could tell he was kind of different when he pitched. And he by the way has been pitching I think pretty decently. I know yesterday didn't end well, but I thought he pitched pretty well before it got real ugly against Boston later in the game. But using that Diaz had a double, so that was nice to see. There was a nice catch in center by McKenna, which is good to see. So there was some good things, and the seats were fantastic. We were just a couple rows behind the catcher, so really a great way to watch the game. It was sitting out in the sun, but it was a great way to watch the game. So all in all, a really great experience, and out there with a few coconuts. Stadium. Yeah, out with a few coconuts, which is great. With Daniel and Eric and David, so that was great.
Yeah, and Daniel's not a little kid anymore. I feel like every time we see him, he's like 2-3 years more.
Oh yeah, because you didn't see him at FanFest. Yeah,
I missed him at FanFest.
Oh yeah, we saw him at FanFest.
Yeah, he shot up. He's all grown up. Yeah, that's cool.
Very good.
And I got to talk to Dave, who was there too. He's the fantasy baseball league I joined with him. So we got to talk to some fantasy baseball. You
still dropping the ball over there?
What do you mean?
Well, you had so many troubles with the draft.
Yeah, he was giving me a hard time about it a little bit, but he was cool with it. The other guys in the league were giving me a hard time about it, but no, I've made no mistakes.
You've settled in nicely.
I've settled in nicely. I try to make a lot of moves just so it looks like I'm trying. Even sometimes I make extra moves just for the sake of making moves, so it looks like I'm really actively paying attention and trying.
Just so when they look at updated news, it shows all this stuff.
Yeah, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look, he's doing all these moves. He's really invested in it all. Yeah. So, but no, I'm in the middle of the pack. I'm having a pretty good fantasy baseball team. Season. Though,
hey, we should also praise the Baysox for their giveaway today. Because it was they gave away pint glasses, and if we remember, the Orioles gave away pint glasses a few weeks ago, and they were plastic.
Yeah, they called them outdoor pint
glasses. So the Baysox gave away real glass pint glasses.
Yeah, but much they gave away 200 as opposed to what 25,000 or something.
I don't know. I didn't get.
It was the first 500 dads got a Baysox pint glass.
Hey, Josh, I forget what they look like. Josh, can you show yours up to the camera so I can remind me what they look like?
Yeah.
How'd you get one, Josh?
But it's got Baysox on the side.
Oh.
I didn't get one because when I pulled up, they were pulling the sign down that says you get a free Baysox mug or whatever.
Yeah.
So I must have just missed it by a few minutes.
Yeah, like we said, it was a pretty great crowd, I thought. I don't know if it's always like that on Sundays or because it was Father's Day or because it was a giveaway and there was a lot of stuff going on or if it was because I was throwing out the first pitch. But it was a good crowd at the Baysox ballpark today.
Yeah, we'll continue to say, I think as we've been saying all year, go check out the Baysox, check out the Shorebirds, the Ironbirds, the Tide, the Keys. Check out all these minor league guys because we got to see some future Orioles today, and that's where you get to see them. You're not going to see them in Baltimore this year.
And, I don't know if anybody there will hear this or not, but I got nothing but great things to say. Everyone I dealt with, from the person who took my ticket to the person at the concessions, everybody was super friendly, always had a smile on their face. The girl who helped with the first pitch was great. Real talkative, real friendly, so it was a good time all around. I had nothing but praise for the Baysox today.
I take it you didn't deal with the girl at the moon bounce.
No, I didn't go to the moon bounce.
All right. Yeah, everyone was great.
I also had an issue with concession where my stand was out of Bud Light Lime.
Uh-oh.
So I had to go to a different line.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I was not happy.
Well, maybe I should have consulted with you guys before I had nothing but good things to say.
It sounds like some pretty minor negatives.
Well, no, I got some major negatives.
About the Baysox?
No, about you all. Well, I look up and it's like the fourth inning, and Bert's already out of there. He's probably somewhere halfway home already. And me, and I go back in and sit down with the in the 6th inning, and and I talked to some coconuts sitting around me, and they're like, what happened to Josh? I said, Josh isn't here. Bert's not here. It's just me, last guy standing, 7th inning. We're not talking about like the 14th inning of extra inning baseball. We're talking about the 7th inning of a minor league game. Father's Day at the Bay, 336, and that's just me.
All right, I left at the bottom of the 6th, and I'm pretty sure everyone in the stadium knows I left because I had a crying 5-year-old in my hands the entire time. And she did not stop crying until we got to the Seven River Bridge, which is a 20-minute drive from the Baysox Stadium.
Yikes.
Which is when she fell asleep.
All right, well, Judge, all I got to say is you better be glad I'm not doing the Strawberry of the Week segment anymore.
Oh, I carried the strawberry. She was red and pink.
Okay, fine.
Hey, Matt.
Bert?
Ask me when I left Camden Yards on Tuesday night for Margaritaville night.
Bert, when did you leave Tuesday Margaritaville night?
I think it was one batter into the top of the 2nd inning.
Oh, yeah, I haven't even talked to you about that. How was Margaritaville night?
It was good. It was fun.
What, you got a T-shirt or something?
We got a T-shirt,
You got some margaritas?
Bud Light Lime, yeah.
That's close enough.
More or less. The festivities were pretty cool. It was a live band out there in the statue court. You might have seen some pictures. A lot of the statues were decorated with sunglasses and leis and Hawaiian shirts and stuff like that. I was deceived. Usually when it's one of those special ticketed theme events, theme nights, you're allowed like private access, I would assume, to the picnic area.
Sure, yeah.
Right.
But this was, anybody could go in there. You didn't have to have a Margaritaville theme night ticket to get in there.
So what did you get with the theme night?
A T-shirt, basically. Basically, it was just
where did they give you
guaranteed you a T-shirt.
Where did you get the T-shirt?
There was a desk in the concourse, gate G, where you had to show your ticket, and it was a special tab they tore off to get your T-shirt, showing that you had purchased the Margaritaville night.
So there's not even a special area where you go and hang out with the other Margaritaville people.
I mean, there were, but you didn't have to have a special ticket to go there. Like, It was just the flag court. I'm not sorry, the statue area and
Legends Park.
Legends Park and the picnic area. They had special concessions, special drinks, but you did not have to have a special ticket to go in there and enjoy the band or order the special drinks or anything like that. Anybody could have done that.
In.
Correct. The additional theme night, I guess, upcharge was just to guarantee you a T-shirt.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that what the giant sunglasses were for that I saw going around on social media?
Probably. Like the T-shirt has the bird.
No, like they showed, like I saw a picture of like giant sunglasses sitting out by like in that area above the bullpens. Like sunglasses like bigger than you.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. There was a big Adirondack chair. You could get your picture there. They had a few things. Oh yeah, giant a surfboard you could stand on and get your picture taken. The bird was out there in his Hawaiian shirt.
And was the Jimmy Buffett concert good?
Yeah. It was a band they played. It was a local band, but their deal is they play all Jimmy Buffett island music, type stuff. So the band was good. They were playing right next to the Cal Ripken statue. They were set up right there, and that's where they were playing. But yeah, the band was good. It was definitely a good time. But I went with my wife, and by the end of the first inning, we're like, well, we got what we came here for.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, you guys embarrassed me.
It was a John Means start too. John Means had a great game that night.
Yeah, the game to go to is John Means. We went to on Friday to the Luis Ortiz game.
Yeah,
and we stayed longer than you.
Yeah, we didn't last that long, but we lasted longer than you.
Yeah, we lasted almost to the end. We lasted to see about 4 home runs.
Yeesh, yeah. John Means gave up a home run to the very first batter on Tuesday night, and then he was good the rest of the night. But that's what stuck with us. We're like, well, he already gave up a home run. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, it was hot. And my wife had the baby, so after a while, I think in the 5th inning or 6th inning, no, later than that, it was like the 7th inning. Emily just took the baby out in the car and just sat in the car, and me and Silas kind of toughed it out. but then of course Silas was wanting to walk around and stuff too, so we walked around for a while there at the end of the game too. But it was a fun time had by all. I just want to keep you on your toes, Josh, because people are talking. People
About
are talking, Josh, about you. People are talking about not just leaving out of the game. People are talking about you now that the rebuild's happening, and it's kind of like buckle down, Oriole fans. Like, let's go. Let's invest in the team now and the young players. Josh is taking his first chance to get out of here, and he's going down to Florida. So just people are talking. I'm not going to say they're questioning your fandom, Josh. I just want you to be aware, not me, but people are talking.
I know. No problem. I got it.
Right.
Don't worry. I'll fly home for big games. I'm not going to fly home to see Luis Ortiz pitch. But I'll come back here and go to some games. I will. You know what? I will be continuing to watch the Orioles on TV. But you know what? I won't be having to use my Unlocator app anymore to trick the system. So I will be legally getting the Orioles games on streams now in Florida.
Unless they're playing the Rays, then you can just watch it on Sun TV.
True.
Well,
True.
Josh,
I will go to the Rays in Tampa on Labor Day to go. I'll go to that crappy ballpark. What real Oriole fan's going to go to that crappy ballpark?
I've been there.
I've been there too.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go there in a couple months. And I told you guys, I think I'm bringing 336 Daily back just as me from Florida in order to stay attached to my Oriole fan base and to force me to every day stay on top of it.
That sounds so. You can talk
Give
about
yourself some homework.
Talking about
give
Luis
myself some
Ortiz.
homework.
That sounds miserable.
So
to me.
I will so that I don't get lazy, and that way I can continue to talk about Luis Ortiz and Paul Fry and whoever other random pitcher the Orioles is going to call up for the day. So I'm going to bring 336 back July 1st once I'm in Florida.
All right,
There you go.
that's fine, and good for you, Josh. I just wanted you to be aware that people are talking. I mean, personally, like I just love this team too much, so I couldn't move it away like you're doing. I just couldn't do it just because my heart is too much invested in this team. But I mean, to each their own. I'm not here to judge. To each their own.
Well, we'll see how many games I watch compared to the rest of you guys, or how much I pay attention to versus you guys with the Orioles being in your backyard. I feel like I'm already on top of Bert on the number of games I pay attention to, and I think that will continue.
Undoubtedly. I can't tell you the 2 innings I watched on Margaritaville night is the most I've watched in the last month.
Exactly. I think I'm good. I'll be good even from Florida. If anything, I'll just be out in the pool watching the Oriole game.
Yeah, I think there's something about being away that makes you appreciate it more, and might even increase your fandom and make you watch it more. There's certainly also I'm sure you'll run into other Oriole fans there that you can bond with, which is a cool deal. So all that's good.
It would be cool if I could find an Orioles bar or something down there,
or a support group
for when there's big games that I can't come home for. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever, 3 years when the Orioles are in the playoffs, I'm flying home and going to the game. I'll be right there with you guys.
Yeah, we'll see. Even if not, I can FaceTime you from the game.
Right.
All right. So we appreciate the Coconuts who came out to Baysox at the Today at the Bay, Father's Day at the Bay. We appreciate our own father who was there. Shout out, Dad! Happy Father's Day. So good to see him. We skipped an important week of church league softball with our dad to go to this Bowie Baysox games with our dad. So that was good. It was fun.
A pivotal game.
Yeah.
We were undefeated, so it was a pivotal game.
Oh, there you go.
I think. I don't really know how it works.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I think we've won all the games.
Yeah, like there was one game where we only had 7 players, so I don't know. Technically, we're disqualified because we only had 7 players,
but
we still won.
Beat their 9 players. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how that works.
Little 2-man outfield, and they couldn't get the ball to us.
Yeah, our section at Bowie Baysox Stadium was if Rylan Bannon got a RBI, we all got free Buffaloes or something.
We got a Buffalo Wild Wings coupon.
You guys
they
hear
never
this?
said what the coupon would give us.
Oh yeah. Anyway, he went 0 for 4, so that didn't work out very well.
Right. I know. I thought it was finally.
Rylan Bannon is dead to me.
I want my Buffalo Wild Wings coupon.
Right. I don't know. That sounds better to me than the Maryland Lucky Row or whatever, where you get the coupon for food at the casino.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the casino that I will never go to.
I've been there.
Maryland Live?
Yeah, never again.
I've been to Horseshoe once or twice, but I've never gone down to Maryland Live.
Oh, never mind. You're right. I've been to Horseshoe. I've never been to Maryland Live. No desire to go to Arundel Mills.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, I've been to Arundel Mills.
I mean, I've been there,
Yeah,
but
I've been to the mall, but have you been to
Yeah, I've
Maryland
been.
Live?
Yeah, I've been in the casino. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there any even any Oriole news we want to bother getting into this week?
I mean, there's been some call-ups and send-downs with pitchers. There was
There's nothing that's really.
manager
I mean,
Hyde's
it's Luis
meltdown.
Ortiz, Rogers.
Anthony
Yeah.
Davis was traded to the Lakers. Just trying to cover all my bases here. The Bruins lost in the Stanley Cup, which was made my day. That's what when I was being crushed by the Boston Red Sox. At least we could say, how about that hockey series?
Right,
You know?
Go Blues.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
at least we had that going for us. Because, you got to find anything here to throw back. When these Boston fans and Yankee fans come to the stadium, I mean, we got to pull back and find something to talk trash about. And it's getting desperate times.
it's interesting that the NHL Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals more or less are like in the same week. Like, I don't know if this has it ever happened before where the same city wins both in the same year, or even could you imagine like on the same night, like if the Boston Celtics and the Boston Bruins won their championships on the same night? That would be insane. That would be awesome. That should happen sometime. Maybe not to Boston.
Yeah, as long as
but
not
some
the-
other city.
As long as it's not the Celtics and the Bruins, that would be okay.
Right.
Yeah. Like the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Toronto Raptors. There you go.
Sure.
Okay. It's the greatest night in the history of Canada.
Yeah, I get behind
Were,
that.
were you surprised that the Yankees were able to get Encarnacion and for so little?
No, they're the Yankees.
I mean, they gave up a right-hand pitcher, Juan Then.
A
and
guy
cash.
from rookie ball. Yeah, 19
Yeah.
years old from rookie ball.
Right.
I mean, I think this is the way of baseball now. Like, big names don't mean anything. And I mean, I think Edwin Encarnacion's a good player, but he's a DH only. I think if you're looking at dealing Trey Mancini, that makes you shake your head and say, oh, man. If that's
Right,
what
they didn't get anything for him.
Yeah, like, because people now value prospects so highly. They don't value veteran bats who just hit home runs, but don't add other
Right.
phases of the game. So I
The opposite of the NBA. It's like the opposite of the Lakers trade.
Right, yeah, because in the NBA, if you have a proven star, like, you'll trade all your draft picks for it because
And that's what they did.
the draft pick is such, especially outside the top, like, 3 picks, you just never know with the draft picks, and most of them don't turn out to be that good, and stars are so rare. And there's just 5 players, right? So if you have 2 stars on your team, boom, you're in the playoffs. You get 3 stars on your team, boom, you're an NBA championship contention. Where baseball, I mean, we see it with. I saw reading articles. Shohei Ohtani hit for the cycle, and people were talking about how great Ohtani is. But they got Trout too. I mean, they got freaking 2 superstars, and they still can't make the playoffs. So you just need a lot more, kind of to go right. A lot more players in baseball too, which makes it more challenging. Which is partly why you accrue so many kind of young players and hope that some of them work out.
Encarnacion is the 3rd highest home run leader of all active Major League players right now.
Oh, is that true?
Career home runs.
And that's just going to go up now that he's faces the Orioles more.
Number 1 is Albert Pujols,
Yep.
645 career home runs. Number 2, any guesses?
Oh, give me American League or National League?
American League. Same team for a long time now.
Oh, Miguel Cabrera.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah.
There you go. He's a home run hitter, and that's what the Yankees want.
Yep.
Hey, the way the baseball's flying out this year, it seems like what everyone wants. That I'm pretty sure Trey Mancini hit his home run to center field today. Did you see the highlight in the 10th inning?
No, I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
It was one of the lightest swings I've ever seen. It was like what we used to laugh about Chris Davis, where he would do the one-handed swing.
Yeah.
It was like a little, just like he was trying to just poke it, and it went way out over the fence.
Oh, there was some Orioles news. Alex Cobb's out for the year, right?
He is out for the year, yes.
And Mark Trumbo had another setback, and it's not official yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's never coming back.
But the bigger Mark Trumbo news is that he sat down with Dan Connolly because I guess by his request, he wanted to set the record straight.
Sure.
No, because no one's been asking, and he has decided that enough is enough, and it's time to let everyone know that he did not cause the pie ban.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah, yeah. He came out and wanted, and to make it clear that that the pie ban was not his fault, that he just happened to be the last person to get pied, that it came down from upper management.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, and I think everyone who has a Twitter account and follows the Orioles should send a tweet out there apologizing to Mark Trumbo. Because over the past year, he has been eviscerated on Twitter all about this stupid pie stuff. And so now everyone should send a tweet saying they apologize. But they won't. I've been looking at today and saying they still blame Trumbo for being that fun and Trumbo this and Trumbo that. No, you cowards. You called him out for ending pies. It turns out he didn't end pies. You owe him apologies. So all suckers should apologize.
I'll apologize to him if Adam Jones comes out and says Mark Trumbo wasn't the one who called for the pie ban.
He did.
Adam Jones did?
Well, Connolly followed up after the interview and asked Jones, and Jones said that as far as he knows, it was not Trumbo, that it came up from the
Okay.
upper.
All right.
But what I like about the whole thing is Connolly went back and said, all right, well, let's look at the stats, because clearly fans were upset about the pies. Everyone blames Trumbo, which I love the idea of, like, part of it is Trumbo's face, and Trumbo just looks like a no-fun guy.
Yeah.
Well, and he has a history of like being more serious and less fun and less fun-loving than other people.
All right, so this all went down on September 3rd. What was that, 2017? Yeah. And at that point, the Orioles were 70 and 67, 1.5 games behind the Twins for the wild card spot.
Within reach.
Within reach. Then Trumbo got pied. 30 minutes later, Adam Jones tweeted, "No more pies." The Orioles then lost 20 of their last 25 games, and then the next season they went 47 and 115, and now this year they're 21 and 48 at the time of this write-in. So since the last pie was smashed at Camden Yards, the Orioles are 73 and 183.
Yikes!
Which is just hilarious that pies got banned and the Orioles went to trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this makes more sense, actually, in typical Oriole fan narrative. It never made sense, really, to blame Mark Trumbo, because whenever anything goes bad with the Orioles, the guy you always blame is the Angeloses.
Is Angelos, right.
And so this makes more sense for pies. It wasn't Trumbo's fault. He's a player. He's a victim. It was the Angeloses. It was whether Peter or Lou or John, one of them, the Angeloses' fault.
But I love that 2 years later,
all those games.
I love that 2 years later, Trumbo was upset by this. He said, "At no point did I either go to Buck or go to upper management and say that I had any problem with it at all."
Yeah, but Josh,
he said, "Even to this day, I get lots of people that think it was something that I did. At some point, enough is enough. I find it funny, to be honest, but at a certain point, you have to kind of clear the air and say I had nothing to do with it."
I'd be pissed too. If you ask most Oriole fans, like who really follow the team, and they just like a reaction game, Mark Trumbo, reaction. I bet more people would not say all those dongs. I would say more people would say pies, right?
Right.
He's most known now, infamously so, for the pies. He's the notorious pie stopper. The
guy who sucked all the fun out of that winning ball club.
Right. So
yes, if I'm Trumbo, I would want to set the record straight too. Shoot.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of what's the guy up in Boston who let the ball go through his legs? Buckner.
He just died.
Yeah, and they always blamed him, even though like no one talks about the pitcher that gave up the big hits and stuff and the errors.
Or that was Game 6, yeah.
He shouldn't have even been playing first base.
Right.
He was just like he had pinch hit the previous inning. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that go into
and they
it.
normally have a defensive replacement. But I heard that they wouldn't be either veteran on the field for when they won it. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, like stupid stuff. All right, so Connolly then called up Adam Jones and said, I never was told it was Trumbo either.
Connolly, doing the report of
I know, some hard
reporting
research.
work. Yeah, I don't think.
Finally.
I don't think Rock Obaka would have taken the extra step to call Jones.
No, I love it. All right, so Jones continues. My understanding, it was upstairs, and I did what any good employee does. I complied. I think the public blamed Trumbo, not me, but I'm sure I smoked him. I've got heavy hands. So,
Jones never set the record straight.
Yeah, he did. Jones closed it out with the pies were awesome, and the people loved it. The media loved it. The splatter.
They made a shirt, a giveaway shirt for it.
Running out in the tight form shirt. It was my signature. So Jones is still proud of the pies, and we've seen a little bit of it in Arizona. But I love that there's a whole article because Trumbo wanted to set the record straight.
Yeah. Well, set the record straight because no one remembers you for the 47 home runs you hit in 2016. People only remember you for the freaking pies.
And I'm sorry, Trumbo, but it's an article in The Athletic, so most Oriole fans will not read it or hear about it.
Yeah, next time talk to Schmuck. Hey, speaking of Arizona and former Orioles, you see Caleb Joseph pitched today, so good for him.
No kidding.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's funny because he's a catcher.
Right, I get it.
All right, boys and girls, thanks for listening. This is to another edition of Section 336.
Hey, I forgot. We're going to take next week off with all my moving stuff, right?
Sure.
So I know we've been consistent with 300 and some.
We've been insanely consistent.
But we're going to take a week off.
Way too consistent. Yeah.
So so let's see. What's up, Putt? New show?
We've been the J.J. Hardy of podcasts.
Right. So we'll see you guys in July. That's
that
the next
true?
show. Yeah.
Okay,
Next
good.
show is July.
Maybe we can talk about some international signings then.
Ooh, you're right. Normally we would go on July 1st, but maybe we should wait till July 2nd.
So Josh can pronounce a bunch of names for the first time.
That'll be
bunch of
fun
people
way
won't want to
come
miss
back.
that
A
one.
bunch of people no one has ever heard of. That should be good.
Yeah. I'll be in Florida, and we'll July 2nd. We'll kick it back off. Sounds good.
All right, boys and girls. If you don't yet, subscribe on iTunes, write us a review, give us 5 stars, all that good stuff. Follow us on all.
Tell a friend. Do a better job than Bert of promoting the show.
Yeah, you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at Section336. You can follow Bert on Twitter.
At Bert Rohde.
You can follow Josh on Twitter.
At Josh Soroka.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's. And go Baysox.
Thank you for listening to the Section 336 podcast. Please go to iTunes and Facebook for all complaints or the occasional compliment. If I were you, I would not take any baseball advice from these guys. Josh and Matt were raised by an Orioles-obsessed father, and Bert fell in love with Don Mattingly. He has a thing for mustaches.